All right, welcome back, and hello, guys. It's the Olimoleague. We've had about a week-ish off of StarCraft 2. We're gonna hop back on this bicycle and see if we know what's what. But today starts off with a probably one-sided best of three. Let's be honest. I think he's gonna hate us for saying that. But in the bottom left side, kicking off this cast, it is gonna be one of the BaseTradeTV moderators, Ekkiejj.
In the top right, as the red Zerg, it is Roots Hydra.
Of course, thank you to Just Call Me Steve and Nomish Lich for the resubs. Just Call Me Steve, I think, from the CSL, no?
Yes, he's the New York common
Right, NYU, yeah.
coordinator. There we go.
Gotta give some love to this guy in chat, though. Robbie Blitz says it perfectly, in my opinion. Every time I see Nova, I just want her to be Kerrigan, but she's not. And I'm pretty sure that's Blizzard in a nutshell.
Rude.
Yeah, I actually really like the Nova missions. I know you said you haven't played them yet, but for those who bought them and perhaps are waiting like Zombie Grub or are tentative about buying them, I enjoyed them quite a bit. I played them on stream. Brutal was definitely still brutal. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, I'm really not that excited. I don't know when I'll ever get around to playing it, which is odd because I very much so set aside that night.
It'll take you like an hour and a half, man. Like
I know I've heard that it's on like 2 hours, but I mean I set aside like an entire night to play the campaign when it's released. So, like the new expansions were released, so it's not like I hate the story or anything like that, but I don't know, man. Nova, she's so boring in the campaign. I don't want to play her again.
Okay, well, this is again not going to be the craziest, insaniest ZvZ of all time, but Ekkiejj's been able to show a couple of decent games as, oh gosh, I want to say Masters League, but I could be wrong. I just quote him. He is pretty good in Europe, though. We've seen him over there quite a few times.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's Masters. We've actually cast him before, and I believe it was against like Bly or someone, because he got early pulled. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Bly, because we were like, you think you would expect this? It was in a Corsair Cup or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's the best of one back then, though.
Yeah, exactly. It was the best one. Olimoleague changed a couple of weeks ago, maybe even 2 months ago at this point. Like, from best of one at this stage to best of three. A lot to give the newcomers a better chance at showcasing their skill, because there was a lot of the Korean rookies that were playing that we haven't seen really since then.
Yeah, it's funny. We made all these changes like for them, and then we stopped seeing them, and I was like, oh, okay, I see how it is.
Yeah, which is pretty disappointing because that one Terran was doing kind of well. I mean, getting to the finals.
Oh, no, that was
Zerg.
That's Chinese. That's a Chinese Terran, though. You're talking about coffee, right?
Yes. Well, I didn't say he was Korean. Well, I guess I said
about
amateurs and then.
Yeah.
Okay,
anyways,
amateurs in general.
Yeah, the point was it was kind of cool seeing some new faces get decently far in these cups. And again, maybe this is just a bit of an off week, but the last couple of times, these best of threes have not really helped out anybody. That Overlord lives, by the way, with like 1 health hype, regeneration, yeah. But I was going to comment really quick before the game kicks off too much. We did have someone ask about Only Watch. So to give a brief TLDR now, and we'll go into it more later, Overwatch tournament, April 7th. Anyone is able to sign up and play. All you need to do is have 5 friends come with you.
Yeah. Yep. I've been thinking about making part of the Discord someplace to find 5 friends, though. Seems to actually get everyone together helps in that regard. Oh. Hydra's going for Aspire.
Yes, and there's no way for Ekkiejj to break the ramp, sadly.
No, there's not.
He didn't really dedicate with this. This wasn't an all-in. He wasn't going to clash 50 banelings into a queen to try and outdo their transfuses. He did get enough units to fight with, but the problem is in doing so, that really hurt his drone count. Now he sits there on almost, not half, but like 15-something less workers than his opponent. For Hydra's sake, moving to Aspire, everything's already going his way, and nothing's happened yet.
Yeah, that's really not so good. Yeah, nothing's really happened, so you should be at an even drone counts, or no, probably even. I don't know about being above, because after all, he did go for a 3rd hatchery really early on. He's getting all his buildings. He did use some of the drones he had to do all this, but still only at 32. Not looking so great, and having to deal with a Spire now. Like, there was no attack that stopped that we usually see, so you don't have to deal with Spires. He does know it is 1, however, and is going to be going for a Hydra then.
So, if this was like a really sweet Roach timing, be hitting right now, but it's not. We know it's late. I think Ekkiejj knows it's late too. Does he know about the Spire though? That's the biggest question. Okay. So you mentioned the Hydras. I was making sure he actually knew about it. I wasn't sure if he got that scout off or not, but I don't know. This puts him in a very precarious position because even Hydras are not necessarily the greatest counter to mutas, as we've seen time in and time out.
No, they're not. In fact, they're pretty bad, especially if they're only very small amounts. And what's worse is that they're kind of expensive. So if the muta player steps over into roaches while you're trying to get Hydras, you could just get beat on the ground regardless. Looks like Hydra really held off on speed. That helped his drone count, but also his mineral count for mineral and gas count for actually getting these Mutalisk. And now he's getting +1 carapace on the mutas too, which is really odd to see. I guess he's going to continue to invest in them. But usually you see that +1 unless it is muta versus muta.
Yeah. I mean, I love Ekkiejj, but there's no Spore Crawler coverage protecting important buildings like the Hydra Den. There's not enough Hydras or Queens in play to really contest this. And maybe Hydra had not initially intended to go super duper all in with this, but kind of realized like, oh, yeah, I can get away with more than 8 mutas per pass. I can probably actually do some very serious damage. So the Carapace upgrade comes into play, which is awkward as hell to see, because it's not going to make that big of a difference versus the Hydras, but it does kind of indicate to me that like he was expecting this to go a very different way.
Yeah. Well, the follow-up for Hydra is not roaches or lurkers. It is going to be banelings, and I think he's going to get the baneling speed as well, and just continue to invest in those Mutalisk. And that's another problem for only going for these Hydras. Once again, they're taking up most of Ekkiejj's gas and minerals, so there's not going to be a lot of roaches that are coming out, and if they do, they don't even upgrade. They don't even have roach speed. So there's not going to be a lot of buffer. You know, the lings are going to soak a couple of banelings, I suppose. That's not the ideal situation.
No. Now, at least the Hydras have started to bulk up to the point where they can't be picked off one at a time anymore. Obviously, the stragglers spawning can, but the worst thing is when you're just trying to get that Hydralist count up. You know, you're constantly sitting on 4 or 5 because numbers 6, 7, and 8 keep getting picked off one at a time by these Mutalisks. So Ekkiejj's at least got a fighting force that the Mutas can't just move into. But as you pointed out, you know, a couple of Zerglings, a couple of Banelings. I don't know, Hydra's gonna have his own Banelings as well. They just roll right into the Hydras as long as they don't make a mistake and get hit by Banelings. And yeah. I guess it is worth noting, we are in Korea, Hydra playing from NA, whereas Ekkiejj's playing from Europe, so there's a small ping advantage, I'd say, in the favor of Hydra.
Yeah, that's true. Once again, the Hydra then goes down, and this is the usual problem of dealing with mutas, is that one Spore Crawler per base rarely cuts it. Going for an attack might seem like a great idea, but that's just Hydra. I mean, he probably thought he had a minute more, probably a lot longer than that, to be honest, because you really don't ever want to push out as the defending player until you're, like, almost maxed. But regardless, he still had enough money and gas to make enough Banelings.
Oh god, that's so many Banelings, too. His own Banelings can't even contest this. Surrounded, death comes from all sides and all kinds. GG.
GG.
Alas, poor Ekkiejj, we knew him well. But of course, it's just game 1. Maybe they'll be the sickest comeback. Maybe they'll be the 14iest pool we've ever seen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, best of 3.
Actually, I didn't think about that just now. That's a good way to describe a Zerg player who doesn't have a huge chance to win. He's got the 14iest chance to win this game.
Oh, I get it, because that's tiny.
Well, gonna get this next map up. It is, of course, loser's pick in the Olimoleague, which is kind of nice.
It's Frozen Temple.
Oh, there's the gross-ass groan in the background. Okay, I'm changing my background. I can't listen to her do that all day.
All right.
I'm actually gonna flip out.
And Blizzard just continues to amaze with how much.
Oh, I can't.
How many bugs they have.
I can't change it.
Well, you really?
You literally cannot change the background.
Amazing. Fantastic.
That's my response to Nova.
I know. I was gonna complain about Blizzard, and I'm missing someone.
Me. Let me join in. Sorry. Messing around with that background.
I'm missing someone else besides you.
Well, it's okay to miss me, Zombie Grub. No one's gonna judge you for it. Jeez.
This one. Okay. But yeah, this whole cancel sound bug is really, it's not
Oh, they can't. Yeah. So
fun.
they're not gonna hear on my end so much as yours, but like this is really annoying change they made recently where, yeah, cancel or when you start games and lobbies, it like makes the same sound that is like when you cancel shit. So it sounds like you're like, oh yeah, lobby bugged. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, we need Ekkiejj to say ready. Okay.
Okay. Well, we're gonna hop into it, and we'll see you guys here in just a moment on Frozen Temple. I don't know if this will get the VOD muted. We'll find out. I'm still amazed how many people thought that was me singing. Like, for me, it's so very clearly MC, like without question. But I guess not everyone watched Home Story Cup. Either way, I'm gonna find a different song for that intro. But because I didn't get it done, and I foolishly played Overwatch instead, we have the silly version to go with for the time being. But welcome back, guys. We are getting into game number 2 in this best of 3, and they've swapped colors on us. These dastardly bastards. Shout out to Buck2 for the resub real quick as we get into this game where Hydras go for a bit of a really postal spot in the bottom right. It is going to be, or not Hydra, excuse me, Ekkiejj. Root Hydra. Again, colors just screwed with me as Ekkiejj's not winning, he's losing.
Wait, are either of them going for an early? Was that early?
Or I guess it was gas pool, sorry.
Okay. In the top left, as the red Zerg, it is Ekkiejj.
I got all kind of confused by the overlay zombie group.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. They're there.
They're their big guy.
They're there. Thanks to come on, Foo FC 7C8 for 7 months in a row.
I'm actually having a completely different problem now, which is kind of irritating me. So the overlay thing was not a lie, but there's a follow-up to it where, for some reason, my Windows taskbar won't disappear. So I cannot see anything below Ekkiejj's name right now.
Oh.
Like, at all. And this is not affecting the stream, it's just affecting me fantastically.
Amazing. I like a Wolf Knight. Blizzard has so many bugs, they're basically zoology. Because it wouldn't meant to say.
Want to clarify something too in chat. Someone's saying Rifkin doesn't like the DLC. No, don't get me wrong, guys. I really enjoyed the Nova missions. I had a hell of a lot of fun on stream. What I don't like is the forced background that they're using to advertise it, because it has a really annoying sound that plays every so often, which is Nova just grunting. Shit. Oh. Okay, so there's a problem that's going to affect the game. I can't actually click below a certain part in the minimap, or my cursor changes to an out-of-game cursor. This is so stupid.
I was going to say, I mean, in one way, both don't like the DLC, because the DLC is the cause of the recent patch, and the patch is the cause of most of our issues. Not this one, it's Windows 10.
No, this one is just Windows 10 being fucking
But a lot of the other issues, do you think with a patch, they would have fixed at least some of the other issues? They just added more, because reasons.
Okay, I fixed it. Sorry, guys. I'm getting really on tilt by this, but I've got it fixed now. Apparently, if I would just rotate the bars, that fixed it. So, yeah.
I've never seen this reaction before to a map intro.
Because it's so beautiful.
Hi, both times. Solu Huin, thank you for 2-month resub.
Yes, and thank you for carrying everything, because I finally have everything fixed on my end, and I don't do well. I do well under pressure. I don't do well under stress, and I was getting kind of stressed out by these minor little issues. Hydra, by the way, worth noting, actually going for a kind of wall off. This is a bit neat to see. He'll be able to plug that gap with the queens rather comfortably. And I can't for the life of me remember which map it was. But this actually used to be a somewhat common thing to do. Less common nowadays, obviously, as the necessity for SimCity has changed.
So Preon Terraces, Hydra does this all the time, but also Frost used to be a very popular one, so going with the snow theme. Yeah, which we'll be seeing again, by the way, in Pro League.
Yeah, I've got my own reserved feelings. I already put, if you guys missed it actually, I uploaded a video of me playing one of my ladder maps recently, and this isn't because I thought the gameplay was so epic you need to see it, but I was discussing some thoughts on the balance changes and the map process. And what really bothers me is, like, you've got Pro League, who is so obviously just like, nope, like when it comes to these maps, and a lot of other people who are saying this, but Blizzard's still like, nope, this is definitely the direction we want to go. Papa knows what's best, just believe. But doesn't feel like that's actually the case.
Well, the thing that I'm disappointed with is that, okay, I don't actually mind seeing earlier maps. Like the Dream Pool, the Nightmare Pool, I thought that was a fun experiment. It just was not the best experiment. But to see old maps with a new expansion could be really cool. But Kespa in general was pretty well not well known, but like they had their own map makers for the entirety of Brood War that would make maps that would become the standard.
Okay, so here's my argument though. Why I don't think because I think one of the biggest hype things is people think, oh, the old maps we're revisiting them for the first time ever on Legacy of the Void. It could provide very interesting games. But I'm like, no, because we cast the Cyber Race Wars where they pulled old ass maps out of their ass every game one.
Whoa. That's different though.
Hang on.
Damn it.
Hang on. I understand. I recognize that's different than like say an entire like season of GSL or Pro League or something. But the point of it still was like all of those maps didn't provide anything super interesting. There wasn't that oh my god moment where we cast somebody on like Red City and we're like, yes, it's time to bring back the old maps. They were superior and better in every way. But the argument I'm going to make this towards is like they're still better than I think what the current maps have to offer. Like Invader, I love Avex. I hate Invader though. After playing on it, like the spawn locations are weird. The no cross spawn rule is silly in my opinion, and you just don't have enough space to build in the main as Terran. It's so stupid.
Sure. I mean, I think they're better than the current maps too, but I think that also like Cyber Race Wars, it was literally like one game that everyone would just throw away. They didn't care, but
yeah.
For Pro League, it's way different. The supply gap here, by the way, is probably going to win Hydra the game because you're talking about other things. But that's just been what happened in this game. Hydra, once again, better macro, not surprising, being the professional.
It's very important to note, a big part of why Ekkiejj's gambit there with Ravagers didn't work was because he did unfortunately have them against Hydra who had speed. If that was no Roach speed versus the Ravagers, Ekkiejj very well may have actually held that, but timing did not play to his favor. I think the problem too is like when you're playing against someone Hydra, you're scared to maybe cheese them, you're scared to maybe macro versus them, you don't know what you want to do. But I'd argue in both games like Ekkiejj stood a much better chance getting aggro and being super just upfront about like here's some lings, deal with it, rather than sit and play macro versus Hydra.
Probably.
But that's going to give us our first ad break, guys. So we're going to pop into a 2-minute commercial. We're going to be setting up Hydra versus Billowy next. This one should be very interesting, as Billowy's the Korean Protoss we've been talking about a lot lately. So we'll see you guys soon.